Thank you for joining us live with Miami's Community News. And I'm here with Carlos Ribero.
What did I do? I mean,
it's a Friday. What can I tell you? Starting to get goofy early. There's Richard going over there. What the hell is going on?
that gives me license then.
Okay. Richard is the Greater Kendall Business Association.
I'm not Richard.
I know, that's Richard over
Richard
there.
over there.
Greater Kendall Business Association Executive Director.
No, they call it chairman.
Chairman, right? And you're also the President, Chairman, Director.
Just president of Profit Inc.
Profit Inc. and other business clubs. First, let's talk about Profit Inc. Business Club been around forever. Tell us about that.
It's been around since 1970. I was in grade school, okay? So I haven't been with the club since 1970, but it's thriving. It's been around for a long, long time, continues to grow. We have new members all the time, so we're about 35 strong now. And we want to keep it around there, 35 to 40. Our goal is to hit 40 by the end of the year, and I think we're going to make it.
So you meet once a month?
No, we meet twice a month.
Twice a month.
And I'll say quarterly. It's not really scheduled, but we'll do after-hours events. We have one on the 21st at Seasons 52 in the Gables, by the way, from 5 to 7. Yeah.
But you frequently meet in 94th Air Squadron at the airport.
Correct.
And how long have they been meeting there?
You know what? When I joined about 5 years ago, they were already meeting there. So I don't know. It's been a long, long time, though.
And people get very comfortable. They have a big parking lot out there. It's not any problem.
Yep.
You want to watch the planes, you can watch the planes.
Centrally located.
And inside the restaurant, when you're having lunch, you don't hear the planes.
You don't hear the planes, no. What you hear are other people in other rooms, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah. And so let's talk about the Greater Kendall Business Association. You've been involved there for years, and about 2 years ago, you took over. Is that about right?
A little less than 2 years ago.
And so tell us about the growth and the enthusiasm that we're seeing now.
Yeah, I mean, Kendall's such a big area, a lot of businesses, a lot of population. Kendall, people don't realize how large it is. But yes, we're growing. We've been aggressively recruiting. We have a niche, and I think that's the secret to all these organizations because there are so many. So really we focus on two big things is one, on education. We want to make people better networkers and better business owners and better professionals. And we also want to help the community. So we're just getting going. I mean, we went through some struggles during COVID like everybody else, and we are more than back on our feet now.
So you also changed locations where you're having lunch. You were at a couple different locations, but looks like you found a home.
Yes, we now settled in at Fogo de Chao, and I pronounced that incorrectly, I know, but Fogo de Chao in downtown Dadeland, and it's a wonderful venue. It's beautiful, and you don't have to talk about the food. Everybody knows how good the food is there.
So it's good food, and it's relatively new in the sense when you go in, you can feel it. It's not an older establishment.
Right.
It's there for a while, and it seems to me they've gotten sort of popularized recently with some of the area business clubs.
I think what's happened is everybody wants to be at that new venue. So you're right. A lot of different groups are going there, but it's large. And like I said, it's beautiful. They have great drink specials. So I'm not plugging them, but
not much.
Not much. Yeah, only a little bit maybe.
Tell us about your next meeting and where it's going to be, and when it's going to be.
Okay, so one of the things that differentiates the Greater Kendall Business Association is that we have events on fixed dates. So the second Thursday of each month, we have a breakfast, and we call him a presenter. You can call him a speaker if you want to, and that is an educational focus. The next speaker will be, his name is Errol Eisinger. He's been here, he's done shows here, and he's gonna talk about the condo crisis.
I saw the Facebook posting, I think, of that.
Yeah.
By the way, you do that? You take care of that?
I do not anymore. We have somebody on the board that
very good.
that is taking care of that. So
congratulations.
They're doing the artwork for that. And so then the Tuesday after that is when we have our happy hour. And this month it's at Pisco y Nazca. I call it, it's called now the Palms at Town and Country. I just call it Town and Country. And then the fourth Thursday of every month, we have what we call our signature networking luncheon. It was a packed house. It was so full last time that we had to have tables outside of the main room. We had to open the big doors.
Your team must have been pretty excited.
Yes, and we had Mary Blanco, who was on the school board, and like I said, we'd like to help the community. So at that event, we gave her 12 backpacks or book bags filled with goodies.
All right, and that went to children and to grandchildren.
Correct.
So I know you have a surprise for us. Get ready. Get ready for the camera. All right. It's going to be, I think, on the middle one. So let's take a look. Put it up here,
right.
baby.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness! Look at these socks here. Tell us what it says, Grandpa.
It says "Cool Ass Grandpa." So I didn't buy them myself, by the way.
All right. You want to do a shout out for what the names of the kids that sent you?
Yeah, it's Ralphie and Zoe. Those are my grandkids.
Zoe, I like that name.
Yeah.
All right. So,
that was my mom's name.
Is that right?
Yes.
Nice to do that. Okay. So here we have. GKBA is on a roll. Also, one of the things that I've seen, there seems to be a little more cooperation between the different business clubs and working together instead of having everybody separate.
It makes all the sense in the world, because what happens is that, we're all somewhat different. There is crossover in membership. Some are members of several organizations, like I'm at Profit Inc., and also with Greater Kendall Business Association. So you see people in Pinecrest in ours, Palmetto Bay in ours, some of our people in their great organizations. And it makes all the sense in the world, because we have different people, different businesses in each, and it's just an opportunity to make more connections.
All right, so you have a lot of responsibility. You got your couple of grandchildren over there that are putting you out, making you wear those socks over there, or is it your wife? Then you have the Profit Inc., right? And then you have GKBA, and then you have your other family duties, and then you have like the job, the job.
Right. And I have other things that you don't know about, but yes.
Thank goodness. All right. So tell us about what type of work that you do.
Yeah, I do marketing work. I'm a traditionally trained marketer. I started doing this in the 80s. I know I'm dating myself, but when...
Let me count the decades in there.
When, everything was done manually, everything was analog. And what's happened is that, and I used to work with Fortune 500 companies and with the government and the federal government. And I mean, I was blessed. It was a great run. And as I tell the story, at 30,000 feet, I asked myself, I told myself, well, if Fortune 500 companies need marketing help, small business needs it even more. So about 10 years ago, I grounded myself. I said I was done with that. And people think, travel and all that is glamorous. It's not. It's, I guess if you travel for leisure a lot, it is. But, for business, it's, a lot of hotel rooms and wherever you do your work, there's not a lot of time between that. So I started this iteration of my business, adopting obviously everything that's digital today. And I came up with a proprietary marketing methodology called the Marketing Playbook, where I will go into a business, analyze their marketing footprint, analyze their competition, and then based on that, I will recommend what they can do. And they can take it or leave it or do it themselves.
So one of the things we recognize so often, you may have the idea, but in the bigger picture is who's going to execute it? Who is going to actually do it?
So that is a great question, because I always tell people, whether it's in our organizations or whether it's my staff or whether it's clients, you have to land the plane because they have great ideas. They may be great. Okay, but who's going to execute? The good thing is that anything I recommend, I can execute.
And I think that's the challenge with all small business. I include myself in that. And that we said, oh, we had all these great ideas, what I thought they were great. And now it was like, well, they weren't so great, or we've already done them. But who do you have on your staff that is talented enough to do that? The reality is most people have to go outside to get that.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, and we see that, and now after all these years, we now have a standalone website connected to our main one for our podcasts. So it's a media kit. That is 3 years in the works.
Yeah.
And what we had to do was sort of like the fifth step in a 12-step program. You just got to give it up and give it to somebody else to do.
Yeah.
Because we had tried so many times, we wound up with an 8.5 by 11 brochure printed off the copying machine. That's what happened because we didn't have the talent, didn't know what we wanted to do, and couldn't figure out how to do it. So we brought in one of the gentlemen that, Frankie, I forget his last name, who does one of his clients is Chambers South.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'm going to take care of it. I was like, thank goodness. Because if we don't do that in business, we're out of business.
Yeah.
Let's talk about AI and about chat. I think there were 700 million people that are now using chat on a regular basis, right? And for the most part, for most of it's only been 2 years. The changes are pretty rapid.
So have you heard the news?
Have you heard the news? Came out yesterday.
Yes.
So what is the new thing that it does versus, and for all the people that are not doing stuff
Right.
on there, their eyes going to be open. So tell us about the new things.
Really, ChatGPT-5, all I know at this point is they're saying it's faster, it's smarter, it's more useful, it can code. It's already been able to code, but that's how they've positioned it right now. I actually used it today. What I did was, and this is a whole different thing, is I created a GPT. A lot of people don't know that you can create a GPT. And what that does for you is that when you prompt it, it's a much easier prompt. It's all in the prompt. That's what this is all about.
So I'm taking a class offered by FIU. It's a 5-week class, thank goodness, all right? It's one night a week. So after they did the preliminary, so there were some assignments to do on the spot. Oh my God. And I'm on chat every day, right? I was like lost, all right? It's a certificate program. I said, I don't want to get the certificate. I just wanted to learn a couple more things.
Right.
So here's what I got out of it the first time. The next day, I went to chat and said, what role can you, chat, play in the development of community newspapers? Whoosh. It had about 30 of them. He said, would you like me to ask me, would I like me to have them put in order of importance? Yes. Name the top 5. Okay, develop these programs. And here's what we can do for you. It tells me in each of these areas, this is what we can do. We can create those letters, we can create those drafts, we can make those proposals, we can do this. It is mind-boggling about what we have access to immediately, and that is the outside source, right? In the sense of if you call a plumber, right, they come out and do it. Here, it's right there, but we all have to be trained in the prompting. So tell people that are not really familiar with what prompting is.
Prompting is really the instructions you give ChatGPT. So there are several ways to do it. One way I like to do it is you tell them their role. So if you want to write scripts for videos, you say, you are an ultra creative script writer for this type of business. So, that's how I will usually start a prompt. The more specific you are, the better your prompt. But what ChatGPT has gotten really good at, and you just mentioned it, is after it gives you that first response, it will ask you, or if it can't give you a response, it will tell you, I need to know this, and that. And then it's going to give you really good output. And the secret is to, not a secret, but the way to do it is after that first response, you can tighten it up. You can even say, make it better. Just which I don't suggest, but it works. But be more specific. Look, change the tone to be more humorous, for example, if you're writing something. So
this morning I was on, and along that line, so I said, prepare this letter inviting people. It's a nice letter. I said, would you like me to shorten it up a little bit? Okay. And then after that one, we can make it we can send it as if it's to a scheduler. And then they said, would you want just 2 lines? All right. And when I got done, I moved the letter away. You know what I did? I took the one-liner and I texted to the people I know. Done.
Yeah.
I was going to do this long letter, and as I'm talking, I don't need that. I mean, it's great to read it. Oh, it's wonderful. But the people that we wanted to do this with, they just want to know, what do you want? Okay, so this is the time we'd like to interview you.
Yeah.
It was like wonderful. Right?
So what we're talking about now, Michael, is the tip of the iceberg, because there is so much happening in AI. There are literally hundreds of AI apps now, hundreds. And another aspect that ChatGPT has gotten really good at is producing images. Before, not so good. Now it's scary. It's scary. And they also have something called Sora. I don't know if you've ever played with Sora.
No, I've seen the name, but I don't know.
Sora produces images and very short videos. It's crazy.
And I'm glad you brought up videos, because we subscribe to InVideo, and there are dozens, if not hundreds. And it says, what do you want?
Yeah.
And I say, this is what I want. And it takes about 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Right.
And there it is. And you can drop in your own videos. The part that I really liked about it, it will come up with the audio. And you can go in, and if you didn't like the word, you can take it and put it in, and it'll put it back together.
Absolutely.
It's just incredible. And even I think about the changes in the last 6 months that are going on. I remember talking to a professor a year ago. I asked him about putting your name on a story. We went through this thing. It's an ethical question. I said, well, how much of that story do I need to actually input before I feel comfortable putting my name? I mean, it's just all ethical. So a year later, which was 3 months ago, I asked another professor the same question. And he said, we're over that. Just make it in your voice.
Right.
That's simple. And so we have this next part is what one of the local universities putting their program together so that there's be some guidelines at the university level. They are coming up with, and it seems that it's going to be this trend. If you are the prompter is the person that asks the questions of chat, just like a defense attorney or prosecutor would ask the questions. And if you don't like it, you've got to change the way you're asking. He said, if you are the prompter, the general guidelines seem to be now, then you own it, in the sense that you're doing that. I know when we do stories about the newspaper, the facts are the facts. They don't change. This is what we do. Right. These are the days. It gets it right about 99% of the time. Right? It gets a little confused sometimes. And then, so it's the rest of it. It's a segue and putting it together. And I said, show me the SEO words that are there. And because please tell me what they are. And so they came up, it said, would you like me to make it so it's LinkedIn friendly? Yes. So I'm looking at it, came up with about 15 hashtags. They said, what's the optimum for LinkedIn? They said 3 to 5. So pick the 3 to 5, all right, to do it. That would have taken me a whole lot longer, all right? First of all, I would never come up with it wouldn't have happened. So if people are not using it, we're already 5 years behind what's already there. But if they're not using it, they're going to lose their position in the company in an instant. Richard, you here? Yes, he's nodding his head yes. All right. Richard uses Gemini. Anzoni over here, who's shooting this. Why don't you come over here? Stand over here for a second. Come here. So why don't you stand over here so that make sure you're on the screen there. Okay. This is first time on this side. Okay. Are you on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So why don't you tell us how you use AI?
Well, for example, I just got into put my brother into a football team, a youth football team, and they're in need of coaching. And so, for example, for different type of positions, there's different type of techniques that you need. And I'm not aware of all of them. So I asked ChatGPT to write down a document of specific workouts that I could do with the kids. For instance, like when the coach is 30 minutes late, I could get the kids, we all prepare with what ChatGPT has guided.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And you were trying to figure out how to do something the other day, and I saw you on it. What were you working on?
It was on the computer. Yeah. Trying to find why I wasn't listening to the audio, and it was because there was 2 webcams at the moment, and ChatGPT told me the different type of errors to go to troubleshoot it, and that's how I found it.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
And Tony's a graduate of Miami-Dade County, lives 25 miles south from
Homestead.
Lives in Homestead,
Wow.
Right? And
25 what? Miles you said or minutes?
Yeah, miles. No,
Okay.
miles.
It ain't minutes, right?
Yeah, no,
it's
not
more
minutes.
minutes.
Turn those numbers around.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So welcome aboard. And this is your third or fourth show?
Yes, sir.
Yes. He still says sir. You call me anything you want.
You were in the service?
No.
No?
I
Okay.
just always,
We know the other thing.
since football, since I was in football team, we always
Right.
referred to the coach like that. So it was like,
All right, thanks so much.
got you guys.
And we have Nestor over there. Nestor is videographer. Why don't you come over? He's a tall guy, so he's going to have a problem. But so why don't you come over here and make sure we can see you over here. So why don't you tell us what you do?
Hey, how you doing? My name is Nestor.
Is he in the shot?
Yeah, he's in the shot.
All right.
My name is Nestor. I'm a photographer, videographer, and work on brand development.
All right. So he does a lot of our outside.
See him all the time.
Everywhere.
He's a good man.
So when Grant goes out, and people come up to hey.
Yeah.
So he's here one day, and the letter carrier. Is that you, Nestor? They give him hugs everywhere we go. How long you been doing this type of thing?
I've been working on photography for 14 years now.
Well, that's
trying
right.
to master my craft.
He's gonna pretty soon. He's gonna be doing headshots of people when they come and they don't know.
He told me about that, but let me tell you, I think at some point he's going to be more recognizable than Grant. I don't know. You can quote me on that.
Yeah. And so some of those headshots are going to be sitting right over there, and we're going to find some other places. By the way, we have a meet and greet coming up. It's when we have some really neat stuff that's going on. And so Nestor shoots things here. Oh, there's Grant Miller over there. Grant Miller here. You know what somebody told me the other day? Grant, why don't you come on over here? All right. So Grant has branded himself Grant
I like
Miller
those
here.
socks.
Yeah, you like him?
Cool ass grandpa.
Yeah. So come on over here. So
Yes, daddy. Yes, daddy. Look at come here, daddy.
I know it. So he has this mantra, Grant Miller here. I was talking to Alex the other day. He says, you know how long Grant's been doing this? I said, how long? He says, when he was selling peanuts at the Orange Bowl as a kid. It was peanuts here, peanuts here, peanuts here.
And make it perfectly clear. The Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
Was it, what year was it, 72?
1972.
I won my zone.
Okay.
Coach here, get your coach here. Hey, I won the $15 bonus.
That was big money back then.
Hey, I carried 4 trays.
Uh-huh.
And after the first quarter, I realized they didn't want the Coke. They wanted the ice. Because all the Dallas Cowboy fans didn't drink Coke. They brought their own liquor. So how do you say it? Coke's here. Get your Cokes here. So that was my job, Michael.
Okay, so tell us about the pilot program you're doing with the cars,
What pilot program?
with the GoPros.
Oh, yeah. We're working with Cord Productions, who owns Beach Channel and a bunch of other things. And we're going out and testing cars. And I got a camera here, they
This
follow
is
me.
besides the column that he writes. Are those different cars?
No, whatever car get that wheel.
I saw you do the Rogue, Nissan Rogue.
Yeah, you
That
like
was
that.
one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
You did that one. Did you?
No,
do that?
I didn't.
Oh,
All right, well,
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
I hate to bother you guys, but
Okay.
You got to work?
Somebody's gotta
You got to
go
go to
one
work?
of us has to work while you guys play around, have a good time.
All right. Yeah, exactly.
So
Nestor, thank you so
who
much.
bought
No,
those socks for
appreciate it,
you?
appreciate it.
My grandkids.
All right, wait, hold on. Say, Nestor, see you later. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been thrown out of better places.
Yeah.
All right, so
You mentioned SEO,
yes.
and there are implications because if you look on searches on a Google search, the very first result will be an AI-driven result. So now, some people are saying SEO is dead, which is not true, but there are implications, and there are things you can do to come up or have a higher propensity to come up in that AI search.
So here's what I've seen. If I was sitting in an office and I wanted to find a thing, all right, if you can figure out what that thing is and your headline and your story matches it, guess what's coming up? That thing, all right?
Yeah.
We do it every day. And I constantly make sure this is SEO friendly with words and phrases. I said, show them to me. And so I spend about 45 minutes a day working on this. And we have been able to prove repeatedly direct, measurable, and immediate results. We probably feed Google, I don't know, 50,000 words a week. All right. So it looks to us.
Mm-hmm.
And because the extra work we've been doing, we have been sourced, meaning we were the source of the information.
Right.
That's really good, and companies can do that, but they have to make a decision. This is what we're going to do.
Right.
And so we have special phone numbers and special email addresses, and the only way it's going to happen is from there.
Right.
With our stories, all right, when we put up is with everybody, within a couple of minutes the stories are up. And people, if they're going to be in business in 5 years, you got to be involved in this. When
if you're not, you're already 5 years behind.
Yeah. When the internet first came out in the early 80s, Grant and I knew, said, this is a method of distribution for our content that we won't have to print newspapers to figure out if it's going to work. So we're so pleased that we send out, I'm going to guess, 1.5 million a month, maybe 2 million a month, every month. Big list is 450,000. The other ones are 5 to 50,000. And that's weekly for the big one, every other week for the other one. And we recognize we have content that we hope is friendly as far as SEO stuff,
right.
And we send it out. But let's talk about, and marketing, when people have their own newsletters, people think if somebody is not calling me from that ad, that story, that therefore it's a failure. What's the fallacy in that?
It's a big fallacy, because what happens in marketing today, in the old days, they used to say, it takes 12 touches before people react. Now, multiply that by 10. People are getting bombarded by marketing messages constantly. Before it was bad. Now it's horrific. You're getting bombarded all the time from everywhere. So it takes a lot more touches. And it's interesting because this all spills over to social media, just about anything you do to put your name out there. And it's funny because I produce usually 3 videos a week, more or less.
You have some walking ones I've seen.
I have some of those. And, most of them are about business tips, of course, marketing related, and some are a little bit more fun than others. But what happens is that people don't necessarily give me a like or comment or anything like that. But when I run into them, they say, I love your videos. Those are great videos. So, and it happened in your studio, by the way, with one of my emails. We were with Bill from the janitorial company.
Bruno, I think, PSM.
PSM.
Yep.
PSM. So we were with him, and he said, look, and impromptu, he said, I really like your emails. So you get that. People are seeing you. And building awareness is the first step to brand equity. So you have to do it. You have to be out there. And it's also good for AI/SEO as well.
So frequently when people join business groups, they think if they're going to go in and they're going to introduce themselves, that people are going to go, I'm going to buy from you today. Forget all the other relationships I have with people for years, all right? I'm going to start buying from you.
Yeah, unless you have the last Coca-Cola in the desert, that's not happening. And Michael, that is such a huge thing, because people do expect to go in and get a return on investment day one. It doesn't work that way. I was speaking to somebody a few weeks ago that said it took her years and years and years to get her first piece of business from a certain group. It takes, people need to know, like, and trust you. And like you said, they probably have established relationships already. So you have to just be present. And there's people that have left. It doesn't happen so often, but people have left one of the 2 organizations saying, I really haven't gotten my return on this. Well, if you showed up to the events, maybe you would.
And there is a different tone depending on the event. I mean,
Sure.
when you go to the restaurant and you're eating, that is different than when there's a presenter there. The psyche is completely different.
Versus a happy hour as well.
Yes.
Happy hour, you let your hair down a little bit more.
So when we look at the going to business meetings, what I tell our folks, this is just a training ground. just go, have a good time. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to meet new people. You might run into them somewhere else, and you take that with you to the next place.
Right.
Just like when people come on shows like this, we've seen the difference in people's souls. All right, where they're not as nervous, they're a little friendlier, and with our events that we do around town, I've seen as the people attend more of these events, the more comfortable they are.
Yep. And you know what? That happens across so many things. And I'll give you an example. I have a client that it took me 1.5 years to have him do video. Now he doesn't shut up. He's even, you know who it is, he's even done it in an Aquaman suit and a Flash suit. He does some videos. So
perfect.
Yeah.
You may even get somebody to like him.
So talk about being comfortable doing it now.
Yes. So often one of the measures that we in this industry say, well, did anybody like it? Did anybody comment on it? It's hard to get people to do that, especially if you're going through and you want to pay tribute to people you know.
Yeah.
Loved your thing. And that's why Facebook and the other ones give you suggested responses. Yeah, that was great. And, you know, I find myself doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Every once in a while, it will be a custom one.
Right.
But then when things we recognize, when we stop to make a comment, in your head, it'll only allow yourself a certain period of time to be on there.
Yeah.
So we skip that stuff all the time. Again, as you're pointing out, doesn't mean that it's not being seen. And if you do enough of that, great things will happen. And speaking of great things, Grant Cardone 10 years ago, he was being condemned. Too much exposure. Nah.
No such thing.
No, right? And we have great examples across the country. Oh, they're overexposed. No, they're not, all right? Because you may be seeing them, all right? And that maybe the guy down the street hasn't. So again, AI people can participate on themselves. They have plenty of classes online. They go to Miami-Dade or FIU. They have certificate classes. They have some other stuff.
You can take a course online.
Yes. And it is an essential part of business today. And the more I know about it, the more you realize that you have to share with your friends. You got to be involved, because in 3 years from now, you know, version number 10 is going to be out.
Right.
Right. And already I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. I go, oh, I got to go look at this other one. Oh my God. I have to, and you have to continue learning.
Right. Right. I mean, I use a slew of AI apps. I mean, I have one that is a video, and you can give it an image of a product, and an AI model will hold that product in their hand and talk about it. How about that?
No. I know. How do they do that? All right. It is pretty amazing. And as I said earlier with NVIDIA, we put a couple commands, and 7 minutes later, there was a video.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is drop in your own stuff if you want to do that.
Right.
One of the things that what we've learned is that creates the awareness of things that you can do, the possibilities of things. And when that happens, your mind starts working fast.
Right.
And so, you know, this morning when I was on chat, just writing different stories. Oh, I forgot about this. Chat told me this morning, we can create that proposal for you, which I knew. But when I asked the role, what role can you play? It is better than the best assistant that you could ever get.
Yeah.
So, and it is the talk of the town. Like somebody called, did you hear? I said, you mean the thing that was released? All right. And it has the enthusiasm that the iPhone had at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is how this next version is going to come out. It's going to do all sorts of stuff.
Or the internet or whatever. It's huge.
So somebody was here yesterday. They had their iPhone. It was a flip top, or the portable phone, mobile phone. It was a flip top, and the camera, you would see them, and they could see themselves. So you could see where you were in there.
Yeah.
It was just an incredible thing to be able to see all those sort of changes. Okay, so here it is, middle of August. All right. So we have this new year, which is going to be here pretty fast, because as soon as August 31st, Labor Day, whatever, that's over, and then the next thing is thanks.
Well, before
Halloween?
that, school starts next week.
Oh, good. So welcome.
Public schools start next week.
Welcome to Miami.
Yeah.
And it's called mobility. We don't talk about traffic anymore, because everything is.
Well, I saw an article that we have now overtaken New York and San Francisco as far as bad traffic. We're number 3 in the country. First is Washington, D.C., 2 is L.A., 3 is us.
Wow.
Yep.
Keep bringing your money down here, folks. Spend it locally. Right? But don't drive up the cost of housing anymore.
No,
we're sort of done there. So Anyway, that's it for me. You got anything? We're going to wrap it up in a second.
We'll wrap it up by talking about our next events. I already talked about Profit, Greater Kendall. Next Thursday, we have a breakfast. The Tuesday after that, we have our happy hour. And then the fourth Thursday, I think it's the 28th, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know right off the bat. We have a panel luncheon, which will be really interesting, about immigration. You've seen the stories, you've seen everything on TV.
The hottest thing in town.
But, you're going to learn what's really happening from 5 immigration lawyers.
That's wonderful to have that, so people can, everybody has their own opinion, but when you're on the inside as they are, all right, it opens up this world about what's really happening.
Yep.
Carlos, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And
always a pleasure.
I think we're right over there. Folks, thank you for joining us. Remember, take care of yourselves and your family, and give them a hug tonight. See you later. Thanks. Bye.